Not only for a cruise, not only for a... Too long ago, too long apart, she couldn't wait another day for the captain of her heart.
And that's the name of the song, The Captain of Her Heart, the one-hit wonder song from the group Double from 1985. It's news time on WSGW. It's 9 o'clock.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studio. W. Saginaw, Bay City, Midland. WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Parts of the drought-stricken West are now flooded out, including Utah, where a hiker is believed to have been swept away by water at Zion National Park. There were overnight water rescues in parts of Texas, too. CBS meteorologist David Parkinson says the system is moving east now.
A tremendous amount of rain continues to fall in Texas, and we've already got some incredible totals, over half a foot of rain service in Fort Worth, and more rain is on the way.
About that missing hiker, park spokesman Jonathan Schaefer says 29-year-old Jatel Agnihoti of Tucson was swept off her feet on Friday.
The family has been in the park, and we're working to support them as they go through all this with all of us. There are more than 20 people working on this search and rescue operation, and they're working all along the length of Zion Canyon.
He says the woman's backpack, which had personal belongings, including her cell phone, have been found. Today, Russia is blaming Ukrainian spy agencies for a car bombing on the outskirts of Moscow that killed the daughter of a top ally of President Putin. The invasion in Ukraine. More from the BBC's Sasha Schlichter.
They even attended the fateful patriotic festival outside Moscow, where Daria and her father were guests of honor. She died when her car was torn apart by a bomb on her way back. After that, according to the FSB, they made their escape to Estonia.
Ukraine denies the accusation. Europe is considering training Ukrainian military forces now. Correspondent Cammie McCormick reports.
The European Union will be debating the launch of a major training operation in Ukraine's neighboring countries. The U.S. and its allies have already spent billions of dollars sending equipment to Ukraine, with Soviet-era supplies would be essential if they were to provide more modern equipment.
Jill Biden will be back at the White House today, a week after she tested positive for COVID. Like her husband, the president, she had mild symptoms and received the antiviral medication Paxlovid. What's worse than a long car ride with fidgety kids? An even longer ride with fidgety kids. Correspondent Vicki Barker is at the foreign desk.
Experts at Nottingham Trent University surveyed 2,000 parents of under 12s, assessing the timings and triggers for road trip tantrums. Their resulting formula calculates length of journey, age of children, number of siblings present, and snacks and distractions offered. Snacks and distractions on offer, and the fewer the siblings present, the longer the interval between outbursts. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
S&P futures are down 51. Dow futures off 344. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest's premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and digital range training. Online at simurange.com and Facebook at ATS Midland. Applied Training Solutions, forward-thinking, on-target training.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. It's powerful technology, the right experience, and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is it. Your last chance to win $5,000 a week forever. There are just days left to enter. Win $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. But you must enter at PCH.com before it's too late. Leave a legacy for your loved ones. Hurry, time is running out. So enter now at PCH.com. $5,000 a week forever. Don't miss your last chance to win it this August 31st. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/29. No purchase necessary. Order prohibited.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 67 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Gratiot County is currently having issues with its 911 service. Authorities say the service went out around 3:20 this morning. While the issue is being worked on, all 911 calls should be made to 989-875 or to the Gratiot County Sheriff's Office at 875-5211. A Carroll man has died following a crash in Huron County on Friday. Police responded to the intersection of Caseville and Stein Roads in Windsor Township around 7:30 p.m. According to police, 58-year-old David Caster was driving a 2002 Jeep Liberty south when a 2010 Dodge pickup driven by a 20-year-old Avery Cool of Seaboing failed to stop and crashed into the Jeep. Both vehicles came to a stop in a cornfield. Caster died from his injuries. Cool was taken to a local hospital for treatment. The Michigan Sugar Company is hiring and holding a job fair today from 8 in the morning till 3:30 at night at the Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works Base Service Center at 4061 North Euclid Avenue. On-the-spot interviews and hiring will take place during the job fair for positions including general sugar packer, general laborer, package. Please remember to bring a resume. For more information, visit michigansugar.com/careers. A new survey from AAA reveals many Michigan drivers admit to risky behaviors like speeding and using their cell phone while driving through a school zone. According to the survey, 37 people admitted to speeding in an active school zone, while 27% admitted to using their cell phone while driving in those zones. The auto group is reminding residents to slow down, come to complete stops, eliminate distractions, share the road with cyclists, and talk to driving-age teens about the importance of safe driving, especially in school zones. WSGW News Time 9:07.
Branham's Jewelry presents an exclusive Le'Veon event. One day only at each Branham's location, West Branch, August 24th, East. Explore stunning jewelry from the artisans of Le'Veon. Schedule and attend an appointment for this event and receive a free goodie bag. You can also take advantage of up to 36 months of 0% financing with approved credit. One day only at each location. West Branch, August 24th, East Tawas, August 25th. Visit Branham's online at michigansjeweler.com.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AA Wealth Management, LLC.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. State police are looking for the driver of a pickup truck involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash. Troopers say a 29-year-old man from Mansalona was killed Friday night. Witnesses say they saw a pickup truck traveling on M88 near the Chain of Lakes campground in Antrim County slow down, then speed away from the area. Anyone with information should call state police at the Gaylord Post. It's a video that's gone viral. People going so fast down a giant slide on Belle Isle in Detroit, they end up flying over some bumps and bouncing. The state DNR closed the slide shortly after it opened Friday due to safety concerns. Workers have scrubbed down the surface and started to spray a little water on the slide between rides to help control speed. They also say riders should make sure to lean forward. The giant slide is open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It looks like tight inventories, which make vehicles expensive to buy, are going to be with us for a while. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Inventories are generally measured in days' supply of vehicles. Toyota Vice President Jack Hollis says they're now measuring them in hours' supply and don't expect it to change anytime soon.
We're going to be dealing with this for one more year, and I want to define what I mean. I do not believe you're going to see growing dealer stock for one more year.
Hollis says we may see some relief toward the end of 2023, but long-term dealers have learned how to deal with tighter inventories, and they don't want to return to the days that they have lots of vehicles just sitting on lots.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 910 on Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see isolated showers and thunderstorms throughout Monday with a high of 80 degrees. Monday nights on, followed by partly cloudy skies and a low at 61. Tuesday, we're going to see mostly sunny skies throughout the day with a few clouds here and there and a high of 83. Wednesday, we're going to see lots of sunshine with a high of 86. Going into Thursday, we'll see isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be partly sunny with a high of 81. For Friday, mostly sunny skies throughout the day with a high around 80. And Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 82. I'm meteorologist Amanda Edwards, the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently 66.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you, and welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW Radio for a Monday, brand new week on this 22nd day of August. And later on this hour and next hour, we'll have open phones for you at 11 o'clock this morning. We're going to talk to Bubba and Rhino from Cops and Doughnuts about a new book they've written about the formation of that company. But for the first part of this hour, we're going to start out talking about a recent survey that has to do with racial disparities in behavioral health follow-up care. And to learn more about it and also some upcoming events, we are pleased to welcome to the program the president of Women of Colors. We say good morning to Evelyn McGovern. Evelyn, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Let's start with this recent survey, how it came about and how it was funded.
Well, first of all, I just want to say Women of Color's mission is to promote diversity, equity, and inclusiveness to the empowerment of families by providing services to strengthen communities and enhance collaborative relations in the Great Lakes Bay region and beyond. And so last year in August, Women of Colors was awarded from Michigan Health a $200,000 grant to facilitate a community-based participatory discovery project. And really you can call it research, but that's what we want to call it, discovery, because we definitely discovered a lot of things during this process to learn about the barriers of equitable behavior in healthcare for African Americans in Saginaw County. Because the Michigan Public Health Endowment in 2021, in March of 2021, came out with a report that over 20% of African Americans in Saginaw County receive less spot in behavioral health. So we received this award, and so they were looking for an organization with trusted long-term presence, and Women of Colors has been in the community now almost 30 years, that demonstrate cultural competency and is interested in understanding the root cause of these barriers and a desire to promote healthy equity. And so I just thought this was fitting for us because we care and love about our community, and that's why we work fearlessly to make a difference. Right. And so they awarded four counties a $200,000 grant. And so they awarded Wayne County, Oakland County, Kalamazoo County, and of course, Saginaw County. And so they challenged us to be engaged in the community, to work with stakeholders and providers in the community. And so we've been working with many stakeholders that include like the Saginaw County Mental Health Authority, the Saginaw Community Foundation, the Saginaw Prevention Coalition, the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office, Peer 360, NAACP, Great Lakes Based, and the Saginaw County Health Department, Solutions and Behavior Health. And there's more, but that's how we've been busy.
Let me ask you this, Evelyn. As a woman of color, and you see the results of this discovery process, were there really any surprises in it for you, or is this something you really have known all along?
You know, we really known it all along. It just kind of put a stamp on it, basically. But I'm proud that we were able to work in this venture, because firsthand from African Americans with lived experiences, and we've had like listening sessions and one-on-ones, group sessions, and we just gave individuals an opportunity to speak and tell their truth about their experiences, whether it's substance misuse or mental health issues. And it really was heartbreaking to hear some of the stories. And then they weren't all bad, but there were enough to where it just really just makes you wonder why this continues to happen, and something needs to be done to change. That
leads to the next question, obviously, because you can do these discoveries and you can find out all this information, but if it's nothing more than a report that gets filed and nothing happens, then it's been kind of a waste of time. So how do you take this report and translate it into improvement in service?
Well, that's what we're trying to do now. So what we did was we developed teams, right? And so we had developed this team called the data analysis team. So after we compiled all of these qualitative and surveys that were distributed throughout the community, we compiled them. And so then we coded. It was the coding and data analysis team that kind of just analyzed all of the data that was received. And so that's where we are now in the process of completing that, and to share that on August the 25th with the community, with the participants, the individuals that shared their stories, as well as the public and the providers that helped us with this project.
Let's talk about these events. I know there's an event Thursday and Friday. Thursday at the Saginaw Art Museum. Tell us about that one.
So Thursday, August the 25th, we are planning, like I said, to share the findings, as well as we have a guest speaker, awesome speaker. His name is Albert Gay. He's from Gary, Indiana, and he works to reduce drugs and substance misuse in diverse communities across the country. And some of his interests also includes mental health and health disparities and social justice and cultural competency and historical trauma and faith-based initiatives. His area, so again, substance abuse prevention strategy planning, working with coalitions and organizational development. So he will overview, also he plans on overviewing a federal tool that will help any organization address the inequities found in our community. And he'll show us how to integrate this tool that can help us transform systems for the creation of an equitable, hopefully an equitable world, not just only in our community, but worldwide. But we have to start here right in Saginaw. This is women of color's main concern at this point.
And this is at 5:30 in the Sergeant Wing of the Saginaw Art Museum Thursday. Any charge for the event?
No charge at all. And We're also going to have some entertainment with our own Chet Allen, our awesome saxophone player. There'll be little nice giveaways, and it'll just be a nice event. Some refreshments. Yeah, we're looking forward to everyone coming out.
And then on the 26th, you're moving over to the SVRC Industrial Building Auditorium.
Right.
And what's going to be happening there? It's from 1 to 3 p.m. What will that be?
Well, that Albert Gay, he's going to do a 2-hour training in regards to this federal tool that I just described, and just having a discussion about, just equality and diversity, and just having a conversation.
So let me ask, because of the way that the discovery was phrased, we're talking about behavioral health follow-up care. From that, am I to believe that the initial care is there, but what happens afterwards is lacking?
Right. It's when an individual goes into the ER or the ED, they don't follow up with the care or the treatment that the doctor prescribed for whatever reason. And so we're trying to figure out why. So we went back 5 years to try to determine why there's such a disparity in the follow-up care in the African American population compared to any other population.
That I'm curious now. So that follow-up care, is it lacking on the provider side or is it lacking on the patient side?
It appears to be more on the provider side, more so than the patient side, because it's systematic. It's several things, working against the patient. We feel, in a sense, and not all patients are, is categorized that way, but it's a fair amount that, all
right,
it's on the provider side.
Evelyn, can you hang on for one more segment? I've got to take a break, and we'll be back. We're talking to Evelyn McGovern, president of Women of Colors, and we will be back with more with Evelyn. Let me take a moment to talk to you about my friends at Thalen Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bay City. Because if you've ever been thinking about buying a new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram truck, you really owe it to yourself to go online and see what there is at Thalen. And they do have some of them on the lot, and they also have a ton of them in the pipeline. And you can actually complete 80% of the purchase online, including building your own vehicle. Thalen has new vehicles arriving all the time. So put your name on one of them. It'll be there for you when it arrives. Also, don't forget, if you're looking to move up to a newer pre-owned car or truck, the Thalen Auto Group is your best choice right there on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, because they have pre-owned and inspected vehicles from all of the Thalen dealerships side by side in one place, right there on North Euclid Avenue, offering you one of the largest inventories in the Great Lakes Bay region. Sit down with a Thalen representative, strike your best deal, drive it away today. The Thalen family, been serving your automotive needs for 45 years. Stop in today or visit them online at thinkthalen.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Summer is here, the perfect time to save some money. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out all of our deals going on right now from Tri-City Motor Speedway, One Up Games and Repairs, JB's Market in Munger, Auburn, Daylight Outfitters, and more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Hyundai could be stepping up plans to make electric cars and batteries in Georgia. Reports in South Korea say Hyundai is considering breaking ground on the plant months early later this year because of tax credits for EVs made in the U.S. Though South Korea may protest the credits as a violation of its trade agreement with the U.S. The Wall Street Journal says big settlement of nearly $1 billion to settle allegations that traders used messaging apps instead of communications preserved for regulators. Beef prices are starting to come down after becoming more and more expensive. Research firm Information Resources tells the Wall Street Journal retail beef prices declined 0.7% in the 4-week period ending August 7th. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search. Help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, Alec Baldwin is looking for OJ on the phone. He'll help. Yeah, he'll take a stab at it.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you, and we're talking to Evelyn McGovern. She is the president of Women of Colors, about a recent discovery they did about disparity in behavioral health follow-up in various communities. So I want to go back, Evelyn, to talking about the future of all of this, because obviously this has to be translated into results. Are the various stakeholder organizations willing to sit down and talk about it?
Yes, they are. We're talking about it, yes, on a consistent basis. And I believe we do have the help of the area stakeholders, the ones that I mentioned and some more as well. And I also want to mention, too, that Alpha Media has been awesome stakeholder as well. And we wouldn't have without your support. In advertising and promoting our events and yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, it's when you're part of a community, you need to do things like that, and not just us, but others should do it too. I think that's important about being a good corporate citizen. Let's talk about Women of Colors, the organization. What are the kinds of events do you do, and when do you do them?
Oh, well, we do quite a few events. We host a Warmer Child for Winter event it's usually generally 2 weeks before Thanksgiving on a Saturday, and we give away hundreds of coats to kids in need. And our goal is to give away at least 500 coats every year. And we've been doing this now for about 7 years. We also host community forums, and this is a collaboration with Alpha Media, and we host our forums on WGER, WSDW, KISS 107, also on our Facebook page, and the radio stations stream live. A lot of them have time to have a conversation, and we address topics such as human trafficking, domestic abuse, suicide, mental health issues, substance misuse. We attack the topics that sometimes are uncomfortable to talk about. And so, yeah, we do quite a bit. And we also have a prevention team to try to prevent misuse of drugs. And we have an awesome team that go around the community and they train. They're certified trainers in the evidence-based programs that we offer with Women of Colors.
Evelyn, let me ask you this question in terms of the nation and locally. How are we doing with race relations? Have we made improvements? Are we moving in the right direction?
Well, that's a good question, Art. Well, there's more. I'll say we're making an effort, but there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of discussions that need to be made, and people need to be open-minded. And if they haven't done anything, they conversation with a person of color, because you'll be surprised that we're more alike than we are different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and you learn so much. And I'm so sick and tired of people, oh, I don't want to go on the east side. It's dangerous. But, anywhere you go in society now, whether it's east, north, west, or south, anything can happen, as we can see.
Yep.
Things aren't like they used to be. And so I just, it's just more that needs to be done from each and every one of us, not just one group. It's a collaborative effort of all of us, each individual. We all can make a difference.
Well, it all starts, in my world anyway, it starts at home, because no baby is born with a prejudiced bone in their body. It's a learned behavior. Right. It's a learned behavior. Right. And somehow we have to interrupt that cycle. We definitely do. And we definitely going to do our part. I'm a woman of color in our organization, and I love you. You say the name Women of Color is correct, because it has an S on the end of it. We represent all colors, not just one color. This is a special project that we're working on, but we welcome all colors in our organization. Well, Evelyn, let's plan down the road talking again and see how we're doing with these issues and other issues as they come about. Look forward to it. Sounds wonderful. And again, let's remind everybody that Thursday at 5:30 at the Saginaw Art Museum in the Sargent Wing, there will be a special event with a special speaker, and you can tell us about that again. Yeah. Speakers from Gary, Indiana, Albert Gay, and you won't be disappointed. He had us on fire when I attended a workshop he did last year for the Michigan State Health Organization. Yeah. And it was really, really good. And so, and both events are free. So I hope the community takes advantage of this opportunity. And the second event is the Health Equity Workshop Friday at the SVRC Industrial Building, 1 to 3 p.m. Right, 1,000 Tuscola, not the farmers market, SVRC farmers market. Right. It's the 1,000 Tuscola. It's no longer SVRC. It used to be. Ah, okay. Yeah. Very good. All right, Evelyn. Well, listen, thank you for joining us this morning and telling us about the study, and have yourself a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Art. You have a good one as well.
You too. Bye-bye now. Evelyn McGovern, president of Women of Colors, and we thank her for joining us. Open phones from now till 11 o'clock, whatever's on your mind, at 989-752-6111.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at a place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Everyone, meet our newest employee, Susan. She has an idea that is going to revolutionize our food ordering.
Hi, Susan. So nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, she just gave her notice and...
I'm gonna miss her. Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. That's our thing.
This is Joe Cordell. In other ads, I've talked about the weighty matters that are on the table in divorce: assets, debts, spousal support, and of course, children. But here I want to talk to you about a troublesome issue that arises early and often in the divorce process, but which attorneys, including myself, say too little about, and that's the cost of a divorce. Yet as important as this factor is, it shouldn't overwhelm the more deserving issues that are raised by divorce. But here are just a few things that Cordell and we have now reduced our initial deposit or retainer. Also, there's no longer a charge for initial consultations for those who retain. And finally, we now provide on the front end a maximum fee pledge for certain modification and support matters. The bottom line is that to be a partner men can count on, we have to think about all their needs, and attorney fees are no exception.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better.
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW Online poll is about the new political party. Former Democratic and Republican Party members who plan to form this new party called Forward, initially co-led by former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang and Christine Todd Whitman, the former Republican governor of New Jersey. The Forward Party says it's going to aim to appeal to millions of voters who say they are dismayed with what they see as America's dysfunctional two-party system. The party describes itself as centrist, stating that it's not left, it's not right, it's forward.
The Forward Party consensus majority view.
So our poll question to you is this: what's your early reaction to the formation of a new political party? Would you say this, that you identify as Republican, but you might support Forward? You identify as Democrat, you might support Forward. Maybe you don't identify either Republican or Democrat, but you still might support Forward, or you don't think you're going to support Forward at all. Head to WSW.com, scroll on the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way. We'll find out. And Forward will be able to move forward.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW. Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the program. Before I get to the phones, I just want to touch on something. You heard a news story about Hyundai wanting to build a factory in Georgia, battery plant and assembly line. And one of the reasons they're doing it is because of the $7,500 rebate for those that buy electric vehicles. Well, if you're buying a Ford F-150 Lightning, that rebate will translate in most cases to a negative $1,000. What do I mean by that? Yes, you will get a $7,500 credit, but depending the model you buy, you could spend as much as $8,500 more for the vehicle because Ford has just raised the price on the 2023 edition of the F-150 Lightning because of commodity costs, battery costs, and the like. So, yeah, you're going to get a big tax credit, but the price increase will eat it all up. Just one of those things. All right, Scott's in Saginaw, so that's where we begin this morning. Morning, Scott.
Hey, morning, Art. I guess I'll start. Guest there made a blanket statement. She said that all healthcare institutions are racist.
I didn't hear her say that.
She said that a black person.
She didn't say it that way at all.
Yes, she did.
No,
yes, she did, Art.
All right.
Yeah, you need to listen to your guest. She said the primary care is the same, but the aftercare is not. Black people don't get the same care. Where's her proof of saying this? She's going to show a statistic, but I can show you a statistic that says 4 out of 5 dentists like Crest. Then I'll show you another one where it says 4 out of 5 like
Okay, good.
Crest.
Okay. Well, they just did a big study, but that's all right.
But where are they getting the information from, Art? To say our
various providers
system is racist, huh?
From providers. That's who they studied.
Who are the providers, Art?
Oh,
Who are the
she
providers?
gave you a whole list of them. You weren't listening.
Again, this comes back to you point out. Look at. Let me go get the January 6th commission. Oh, same thing because they picked the people who are going to say the same thing. Our healthcare system is not racist, Art. Black people can do exactly the same thing as white people. They can be presidents. Oh, damn it. One was. They can be vice presidents. They can be justice of the peace. They can be police officers. Now, for this lady to say that is wrong, and you should have pushed back, Art.
Well, that's your opinion, and you have to live with it. I don't.
So hospitals are racist then to black people on their second visit.
All I know is what the study said.
And what did the study say, Art? That black people are
that the care is not that there's a disparity in the care and a return visit. That's what the study said.
How? But who's the return visit? Are the people not showing up, or when the black person shows up, the doctor says, "Oh, look at your skin color. I'm not going to deal with
Scott.
you." Come on, that's ridiculous, Art. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just like the same thing the Democrats say that black people can't get a driver's license.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
All right. Very good.
Good day.
Bye. All right. Just, well, never mind. I'm not going to pursue it. Let me see here. My list of things. I mentioned the price of the F-150. Oh, this one caught my attention. Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. They are both on the PGA side of golf, not the Live Tour side. And they are spearheading a new venture that will have the world's top golfers competing against each other in a non-green grass stadium environment. I can't imagine what that's going to be like, but it's going to be a series of events held in partnership with the PGA Tour. More specifics will be announced. They're one-day events. They will complement the PGA Tour schedule, and they will launch in 2024. And you will remember that Tiger Woods declined a huge offer from the Live Tour of reportedly $700 to $800 million to play on the Live Tour, and he declined that and came out strongly in favor of the PGA Tour. And now he and McIlroy are going to, I guess, put their money where their mouth is, you might say. They're going to have these big events in 2024, stadium events. Can't imagine what they're going to be like. It'll be interesting. Some kind of skills competitions, I guess, and open to the public, and do it in conjunction with the PGA Tour, looking to enhance PGA opportunities. I do believe that one of the things that's going to happen because of the Live Tour is the PGA, and it's already beginning because they've already increased purses in some events. I believe that what's going to happen is that the PGA Tour eventually is going to have to modify its policies on things like appearance fees. That's one of the big things on the Live Tour is that players get paid to show up whether they win or lose. So they can't lose. They're always making money. And I think the day is going to come when the PGA Tour will have to have some form of that kind of enhancement, whether it's exactly like it or a modification of it. Time will tell. But I do believe that competitive pressures are going to change to a degree the way the PGA does business. And that's what happens when competition comes along. If you want to stay relevant, you got to respond to it. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Quick break. We'll get back to Mark and Saginaw when we return here on WSGW.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest's premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community one student at a time. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and digital range training. Online at simurange.com and Facebook at ATS Midland. Applied Training Solutions, forward-thinking, on-target training.
Welcome to the Michigan Lottery Show, the fun and excitement.
50 years ago, a jackpot started growing in Michigan. Inspired by fun and prizes for players, this jackpot has helped local businesses.
Winning a lottery ticket was sold at the family market.
$1 billion in support for Michigan public schools. Today, the jackpot is still growing, and the goodness it's spreading is a win for everyone. The Michigan Lottery. For fun, for schools, for 50 years. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Mark your calendars for all the fun at Our Kids World Back to School Edition. Saturday, September 24th at Sarah Automotive in Saginaw. This free kids event will help kick off the school year with bounce houses, fun games, prizes, and so much more. Sarah Automotive invites you out from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. to join in all the action. If you or your organization would like to participate, call 989-752-3456. Our Kids World Back to School Edition. Saturday, 1 p.m. Sponsored by Sarah Automotive and Francis Ray Academy.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when their reputation on the line. So what do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, GW, but now there's another option, Saturday morning. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back here on WSGW and back to the phones. Mark is in Saginaw. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
We're doing well, thanks.
On Hyundai,
wanting to build, was it a battery plant?
I think battery and assembly of electric vehicles.
My question is we just had a Chuck Schumer never let a crisis go to waste inflation reduction bill that went through. And then with that being said, it is my understanding in that bill that the battery, in order to get the $7,500 discount, that the battery had to be made in the United States.
Yeah.
So that knocks out about 30% of the EV vehicles. Did anybody tell Honda that they will not?
Oh, I'm sure they're well aware. I'm sure they're well aware. And the interesting thing, too, is as with the Ford Lightning, because of the cost of batteries and the materials it takes to make the batteries and the vehicles, Ford raised the price of the Lightning by $8,500 in some models, which more than eats up the rebate that you get for buying one. So what's that $7,500 going to do if it costs you more to buy the vehicle?
Well, I just don't understand why the price went up. I mean, they had Prius that was, or the Volt or whatever.
GM had the Volt.
Electric batteries. And those have been out a long time, but all of a sudden.
No, those are smaller, though.
Now they go up 7,500?
The ones in the Volt, when they came out, that battery is minuscule compared to the size of the batteries in these vehicles. And remember, too, the Volt had a generating engine. You only got about 15, 20 miles on electric. The rest was all done with the generator. There's much smaller batteries. These batteries today are significantly larger, use more materials, and costs go up. I mean, and particularly when we don't control the raw material, and we're dependent on others, particularly other countries, to supply it.
Well, we have to mine for those materials, don't we?
Sure. Yep.
Oh, okay.
But you can only mine where the resource is.
Right. I just wonder where the resources, once they're gone, then what do you do?
Find a new way. Find a new battery.
Yeah.
And that's being developed. Battery technology is being researched all over the world. Everybody's looking for better batteries because they see the future. I mean, whether we like it or not, these things are going to be pushed on us and we're going to live with them, like it or not. Right. So, the day is going to come when the battery technology is so advanced that you won't notice a difference when you drive these cars. But
yeah,
cost
might not
is,
even call battery, might be something else. The flux capacitor.
Yeah, there you go. But in the meantime, we have to figure out about the cost because these vehicles are expensive. So,
right.
All right.
Take care.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye now. Let's talk to Denise in Saginaw. Denise, good morning.
Good morning. I'm just calling about that last caller that was saying that there's not too much bias in the medical field for color. Well, I was a nurse for 40 years and in Saginaw, and I saw it my entire life, and it's something innate in humans. It's not just white people against black people or blah, blah, blah. Many of the best doctors in Saginaw are from a different country, and they have biases in their country when they come to our country. And I've seen it with my own eyes hundreds of times, ethnicities that would treat patients differently. The doctor himself was from a different country, and he would treat people depending on their socioeconomic background. In certain countries, especially India, there's a saying that an Indian mother wants her child to either be a doctor or an engineer. And if they're not one of those two, they're a failure. And that's very true. That is extremely true. I've asked many, many people that, and they're all like, yeah, that's, they're just doctors because that's what their moms want them to be. To this country, I'm getting a lot of my information right now from the American Journal of Internal Medicine. I mean, you can Google what you and I are talking about right now, and you'll get 1,000 articles.
Let me ask you this, Denise, since you're on the inside of it. Is it an institutional problem, or is it an individual problem? Is it
That's a great question.
certain
I don't know.
healthcare providers, but not the institution? Or is it the institution?
Correct.
It's certain healthcare providers, not the institution, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and implicit bias, and it doesn't prove that sometimes it doesn't change the interactions with the doctor and the patient. But I will say this, I'm a senior citizen, and I have many friends that have lots of problems now. And I've told every one of my friends, this is one of the biggest biases in the medical field, and I want everyone out there that's hearing me to remember this. The more knowledge you have when you present in front of your physician, the better he will treat you and talk to you like an equal. If you go into your doctor's office and you don't know the name of your medicine, you don't know what it does, you can't remember the dose, you will be treated like, I hate to say this, not all doctors, but a majority of the doctors will treat you like they'll go, okay, and they just fluff you off. They give you this or that. You'll say, like, I have a pain. They'll give you something, and boom, and you're out the door.
Is that because they feel you're not serious about your own health care?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I have neighbors that go to the doctor, and they come home, and I'm like, your doctor said what? It just blows my mind that like diabetics, I'll take diabetes and atrial fib, those two, because those their doctors never tell them about if they change their diet or lost 10% of their body weight, they probably would not need to be on their diabetic medicine, because, most type 2 diabetics are insulin resistant. Their pancreas still works, but they're insulin resistant because of the fat on their belly. They didn't even know. I have 5 friends who didn't even know that. I said, if you lose 10 to 20% of your body fat, you will not have to be on and one of my friends did it, and they're off all their medicine now and their blood pressure medicine.
Yep.
But they never knew that. Their doctor never told them, because the doctor treats you like however you. And if you just go in there like, oh, you don't know. So the patient-doctor interaction does alter the treatment the patients receive. This is proven.
Denise, appreciate the information. Thank you much.
Yeah.
I got to take our last break here, but let's do it
Yeah.
again. Thanks.
Anyone can Google this, by the way.
All right.
They can just Google it. All right.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Have
Bye.
a good day. Bye-bye now. We'll
too.
be back to close out the hour.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Support small and keep the community alive. Our downtown Saginaw Farmers Market continues to have fresh produce and good eats. Global like Saigon Sandwich and Cobb King keep all our indoor eats exciting. Sweet treats with the one and only delicious sweets, and our retail therapy from Thrive Creative Innovations and welcoming Ohana Clothing. Support small at the SVRC Marketplace, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Join us on Sunday, August 28th for our Ride from the Riverfront event as we collaborate with Exclusive Car Club. $10 registration, 9 to 5 p.m. Best in Show with a $200 prize in top 40. Live entertainment, drinks from the boardroom, and food right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Mark your calendars for Riverfront Revelry SVRC Cornhole Tournament on September 24th. We thank you for the continued support of our small business. Local, eat local, support small business, and we hope to see you at the market.
This is it. Your last chance to win $5,000 a week forever from Publishers Clearinghouse. There are just days left to enter. Win $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. But you must enter at PCH.com before it's too late. Leave a legacy for your loved ones. Hurry, time is running out. So enter now at PCH.com. $5,000 a week forever. Don't miss your last chance to win it this August 31st. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/29. No purchase necessary. Order prohibited.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on Rocket Grab Daylight Outfitters. You are going to get 1 hour of axe throwing for a group of 4 or 1 hour of video archery for a group of 4 for only $40. It's usually $80, but you are getting it half off. Daylight Outfitters is located at 664 West Isabella Road in Midland. Axe throwing participants must be 10 and up. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Your home for Michigan Wolverines football is WSGW. The defending Big Ten champions are ready to prove that last year was not a fluke.
He's going to go down the sideline. Blake Corum. Edwards on the wheel route at the midfield stripe. At the 5. Touchdown, Michigan. He's in the end zone. Pick 6. DJ Turner.
The season kicks off against the Colorado State Rams at the Big House on Saturday, September 3rd. Game day coverage at 11 a.m. with kickoff at noon on 790 News Radio WSGW. The history.
2, 1. Listen to 106,000 fans.
The tradition.
Haskins scores his 5th of the day.
The memories.
And he fires toward the end zone. Touchdown! Mario Michigan will win.
Michigan football is on WSGW.
And that does it for the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We thank you for being with us. Back next hour with open phones for the entire hour. A number of things to talk about. All of that coming up after the news from CBS, the national and international report. We'll have the local report on the region and the state. And then right after that, we'll be back with hour 2 of the Art Lewis Show.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. There's been a drastic weather swing in the drought-stricken west and south.
Torrential rain overnight led to high water rescues across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. A hiker is missing in the Utah mountains after a sudden deluge swamped a campground. James Clifford lives in the now-flooded area of northeastern New Mexico, scarred by a huge wildfire earlier this summer.
I've lived here for 50 years. This is like a 500-year flood, not a 100-year flood. This never.
Watches are posted across North Texas and parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Today, Russia's top counterintelligence agency is blaming Ukrainian spy services for organizing the car bomb that killed the daughter of a top Putin ally just outside Moscow. The BBC's Sasha Schlichter.
Without producing any evidence, the FSB said a Ukrainian intelligence agent, Natalia Vovk, and her daughter entered Russia in July and rented a flat in the same Moscow residential block where Daria Dugina lived. She died when her car was torn apart by a bomb on her way back. After that, according to the FSB, they made their escape to Estonia.
President Putin is calling it. Ukraine denies any involvement. We're learning new details about the FBI search at Mar-a-Lago. Former President Trump's lawyer judge to appoint a neutral party to review and possibly return evidence collected at his Florida estate. Correspondent Robert Costa is at the federal courthouse in West Palm Beach.
According to the unsealed FBI search warrant and property receipt, agents seized 11 sets of classified documents, including 4 sets that were labeled top secret. It came months after a lawyer for Trump signed a document declaring all such material had been returned to the government.
A European vacation is looking better. Equals $1 US, a psychological barrier that was tripped for the first time in 2 decades last month, and now it's happened again. The European currency has dropped 0.4% to 99 US cents in early trading. Investors fleeing the euro amid fears that a big bad recession is looming in Europe. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London. Speaking of money, cringe when you get a gift card? Creditcard.com's Ted Rossman says you are not alone.
The worst thing that you can do is nothing. 29% of us have let a gift card expire. 25% have lost at least one. 19% failed to use one before the business. So all told, about half of us have lost money.
The Dow is down 60 points. S&P is off. Oh, the Dow's down 420, that is. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Summer nights at Comerica Park are a Detroit tradition, and here's a great way for you to enjoy a Saturday night at a Tigers game. Be here for Craft Beer Night, presented by Atwater Brewery, when the Tigers take on the Royals Saturday, September 3rd at 6:10 p.m. Special ticket packages include a t-shirt and an Atwater beer. Don't miss out on a fun night.
It's gone! Ball to center field!
Craft Beer Night is on Saturday, September 3rd. Just visit tigers.com/craftbeer for tickets.
And now, bedtime. If sleep apnea and CPAP struggles are ruining your sleep, Inspire may work for you. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to help you sleep peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Learn more at inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important. Inspiresleep.com.
Attention all business owners who rent or lease space, including storage space. Stop wasting your money paying someone else for your space. You can now save a ton of money and own your own building with the incredible sale prices from General Steel. That's right. Start saving money every month on renting space from others. Just call 877-25-STEEL to see how General Steel can help you save money. Our 50-year structural warranty buildings are custom designed for your needs and save you a ton of money. Call 877-25-STEEL.
Take it from a successful entrepreneur. If you need to expand or start a new business, you need General Steel.
Great team and the competitive pricing is the reason I went.
877-25-STEEL now, and you can get any of our popular quick construction structures, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building fast and easy. Call 877-25-STEEL. That's 877-257-8335. 877-25-STEEL.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 67 degrees at 10:05. Areas of Midland's Center City District will begin receiving improvements beginning today and continuing into November. South Saginaw Road between Dartmouth Drive and Patrick Road will experience intermittent lane and sidewalk closures as construction begins. The $3.7 million South Saginaw Road Streetscape project will include the construction of 8-foot wide pathways on the side of the roadway, new street lighting, and new trees and horticulture. The construction is phase one in Midland Center City redevelopment project, which was authorized in 2018. Crews will be performing maintenance and paving work at Saginaw's Anderson and Richmond Center and the Tennessee Fordney Street between Rust Avenue and Ezra Rush Drive, requiring the parking lot to be closed. That work also starts today and is scheduled to be completed by Friday at 5 o'clock. The city says the work is weather dependent and may require longer to complete. They'll notify the public if that happens. While the lots are closed, residents and visitors can park at the Crayola Park parking lot or the Splash Park lot to the south. Several improvements have been made at the campus of Northwood University over the summer. These include full recovery from 2020 flooding in the Bennett Sports Center, Hatch Student Northwood's Turf Building, a new boiler heating system in Jordan Hall and the Strosacker Library and Learning Commons, near completion of construction in the Griswold Communications Center, expected to be finished in September, and completion of the Mall Walk project and a new seating wall and area for the Milton and Rose Friedman sculpture in Founders Garden. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Hi, this is Evelyn McGovern, the president of Women of Colors. Last year, Women of Colors was awarded a one-year grant from the Michigan Endowment Fund to determine why 20% do not receive follow-up care in behavioral health care services compared to other populations in Saginaw County. Well, Women of Colors is excited to report the findings on August 25th at 5:30 p.m. at the Saginaw Arts Museum. We are asking community members, service providers, and the participants of this project to join us in this community effort. You would be astounded of the findings. Featuring motivational speaker Albert Gay, all the way from Gary, Indiana, discussing the importance of diversity, equity, sponsored by the Michigan Endowment Fund.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A critical week for the U of M health system is rapidly approaching. Members of the Michigan Nurses Association, U of M Professional Nurse Council, are preparing to vote beginning August 27th on a potential work stoppage due to alleged unfair labor practices from the university. The vote includes more than 6,000 registered nurses. U of M says they've been negotiating in good faith and that patient safety is at the forefront of their concerns. The nurses argue is resulting in too much of a workload, so patients are not getting proper attention. Defense lawyers have rested their case in the trial of two men charged with conspiring to kidnap Michigan's governor. Here is Michigan News Network Rob Mason.
Closing arguments are scheduled for today in federal court in Grand Rapids. Lawyers for Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. called investigators to the witness stand Friday to try to raise questions about their tactics back in 2020 and highlight scornful attitudes. The defense argues that Fox and Croft were entrapped by agents and informants who fed their wild anti-government views.
City Commission is holding a meeting out in the community Tuesday night, the first time since the start of the pandemic. Mayor Rosalind Bliss says it will be a regular meeting, but they'll talk about other issues as well, like recent community survey, where some called for improvements.
Stronger relationships with the police department, also being, a more welcoming community, supporting entrepreneurs. So we'll be taking a deeper dive into those issues.
Bliss says the survey was mostly positive when it comes to the city's quality of life, safety, and access to amenities. When you see news happening, call the WSG at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late today. Otherwise, a blend of clouds and sunshine develops with a high around 80. Winds out of the north around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, partly cloudy skies develop, a low near 61. By Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, high of 83 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 87. Thursday, we'll have a chance for some showers here late. Partial sunshine develops, high of 82. Then on Friday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 67.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinion. Block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW Radio. Nice to have you with us. It's an open line hour at 989-752-6111. Here's a survey. Now, you take polls for what you think they're worth, obviously, and I've said that many times in the past, but they're fun to look at, and sometimes they can be instructive. This poll done by NBC, nearly 75% of Americans think the U.S. is headed in the wrong direction under Joe Biden, and more than half worry the country's best years are behind us, according to this NBC poll. 74% say the U.S. is on the wrong track. It also found more than half of the 1,000 respondents feel worried that America's best years may have already been behind us. Among the respondents' main concerns was the economy. 68% saying they think the country is already in a recession, despite the White House claims otherwise. In total, the poll found 55% of Americans disapprove of the president's job, 42% approve. I actually think that's good news for him because I think he's up 2%. It was 40. I think it's 42 now. That's a positive for him, probably because of the recent Inflation Reduction Act, misnamed. But here's my thoughts on this. And I understand we as Americans, we react to what's happening in our lives today. If you go to the store and you find prices extremely high, which you do, you're going to have a negative feeling. And that negative feeling is going to translate into those in power being responsible. It's the nature of the beast. And that will also translate into how you vote on election day. There are exceptions because there are some issues, such as abortion, which for a group of individuals will be their sole determinant on who they vote for. But for the majority of Americans who every day have to face more dollars out of their pocket and maybe less dollars in their pocket, the economy is number one and always has been. So this poll is not surprising. However, I do not agree that our worst days are ahead, that our best days are behind us. This is a resilient nation. And when the American people get fed up, they make changes. And we wait and see what those changes could be. Could be Congress changes hands. Who knows? But that's typical of what happens when the American people get fed up. They do take action at the polling place. I don't think our best days are behind us. I always think the best days are ahead. But then again, I'm an eternal optimist. But I do believe there are obstacles in our way, one of them being social media. I think it has been the bane of society, not the boon. Yeah, I know there's good positive things that happen on social media, but I think there are more negatives. Just my opinion. I think we have to learn how to control and live with social media. Then we can move forward in a positive manner. Al is in Midland, so let's go to Al. Good morning, Al.
Good morning, sir. Hey, congratulations again on the awards that you.
Thank you.
You're all a part of that group, though. You all deserve all those awards.
Appreciate it.
And I think they're a shared award. I've heard you say it's a shared award.
Well, none of us do this alone. None of us do this alone.
Yeah,
it's a team effort.
Yeah, and the morning team was a wonderful group. I love listening to you guys in the morning with the banter back and forth. It's great, all the discussions, and you bring up things that I don't think about, and it's a great form for communication and getting conversations.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful.
And what's the address where we send the check? I forgot now.
No.
I know it. I'm just kidding.
You do more than enough to pay us back. Believe me.
Appreciate it.
So, hey, back to Scott's thing. There was something about the medical visits. The second time around, they didn't get the same health care. I think that has something to do more with income than it has to do with their race or something. I think the low income, as soon as they find out you're not able to pay as much of the bill, less care. And I think that has something, there's something in there with it. She didn't point it out that way, but I think there's some connection there with income.
Could be part of it.
I think that's a lot to do with it.
Maybe.
I fall into that group of low income, and I've seen it, and I come across as Caucasian, even though I'm not all that way, but I come across that way when people see me, and they don't know my ethnic background completely, but they assume I'm white, so I'm treated somewhat different, but I'm a low-income individual, so I see this from a low-income point of view, too. So I think there's something there to it.
Do you have Medicare?
No, I do not, and I can't afford Obamacare.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, I'm one of those falls through the crack that the government cut off. I had a good health care plan before, and when that was signed into law, it pulled the plug out.
Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 66.
Okay, so you're now at that point where you could get Medicare.
I could, but I don't not really ready to go into that because I have other things that are causing a stoppage for me to go that way, where I can't take that route yet.
Well, as soon as you can, do it.
I realize that, but it is so there are still people that fall through the cracks.
There's always going to be people that fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and they talk about Kildee lowering the price of the insulin. Well, it was very low before Obamacare came along, and that raised the price on a lot of prescriptions.
Yeah,
because they saw the government was going to pay for this. Not the government or some big outfit paying for it.
Yeah.
Guess what? They raised the price.
Well, not only that, but the deductibles went sky high too. To
Right.
make it affordable,
Yeah.
the deductibles were huge.
Yeah.
Still are. So listen, I've not been a fan of Obamacare. I prefer, an
it
open
was a
system,
disaster, and it still is.
Well, let's put it this way. For some people, it's been a boon, no doubt about it. But for the overwhelming majority of Americans, I do think it's not been good. So that's my opinion.
It made things a lot worse.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It made things a lot worse.
All right. Good enough.
So, thank you. Have a nice morning, sir.
Yep, you
Bye
too.
now.
Thanks.
Yep.
Gene, I want you to hang on. We'll get to you right after the break, and we will be back.
At Consumers Energy, we're harnessing the power of the sun to create a cleaner energy future for Michigan. By 2040, solar energy will provide most of the electricity we deliver to our customers. That's good for the planet and your pocket. Can't get there without your help. We're searching for large parcels of land in Michigan to build solar power plants. If you have a site for us to consider, visit consumersenergy.com/misolar to learn more.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and feeling that hot summer magic. It's the Hot Summer Nights $71,000 giveaway every Friday in August. Drawings are each week from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. for up to $1,800 in premium play. Then on August 26th, one winner each hour will take home $10,000 cash. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Reimagine. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
This is it. Your last chance to win $5,000 a week forever from Publishers Clearinghouse. There are just days left to enter. Win $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. But you must enter at PCH.com before it's too late. Leave a legacy for your loved ones. Hurry, time is running out. So enter now at PCH.com. $5,000 a week forever. Don't miss your last chance to win it this August 31st. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/29. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoid diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower with investors waiting for the update on the economy at the end of the week from the Fed's Jerome Powell event. Multiple bidders, including Amazon and CVS Health, are said to be interested in bidding for Signify Health. Its shares are rallying. Tesla is raising the price of its full self-driving feature next month from $12,000 to $15,000. Intel will need 7,000 construction workers to build its new factories in Johnstown, Ohio. Union officials say they're hearing from workers thousands of miles away who want to transfer for the project. Bed Bath & Beyond's outlook is deteriorating, and Wedbush analysts say the company may now wind up with a bankruptcy reorganization. Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-393-1881. That's 800-393-1881.
Show's listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so whip down your phone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Summer is here, the perfect time. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out all of our deals going on right now from Tri-City Motor Speedway, One Up Games and Repairs, JB's Market in Munger, Norrie's of Auburn, Daylight Outfitters, and more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, Alec Baldwin is looking for the real killer. Get OJ on the phone. He'll help. Yeah, he'll take a stab at it.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Gene is in Bay City. Gene, good morning.
Good morning. I want to say God bless you for your show and all your optimism. I feel the same way. You know, America's only going to get better.
Good.
I wanted to talk the black lady that was talking.
Yep.
I like to point out how much prejudice could be changed in the schools if they would start teaching some history. Now, there was a black doctor that that is used now in heart surgery and really is a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And during the war, like the Red Tail pilots were black pilots that protected the cargo planes. They need to start teaching some of these heroes. Every single country, every single shade of color of a person, they all have their heroes, but nothing is taught about that in the schools.
Well, I think here's the thing, Gene. I agree. I think there should be a teaching of all history, including what various races and ethnicities have given us in improving our lives. But I also would like to get to the point where we don't have to do that, where we don't look at somebody as, well, the black doctor did this. Well, he was a doctor. We don't have to look at the Asian or the Hispanic or what have you. We look at the person and not their ethnicity and not their race. Well, that's the key.
The only way I can see of getting there is through education.
That's a start.
The kids are only in school, especially the teenagers, for 6 hours. You know, they're sponges.
Well,
and they should be in school 8 hours a day, and they have to start teaching more about history.
Here's the point that I made earlier, and I've made it all my life. No child is born into this world with a prejudice bone in their body. It is learned behavior. And
Right.
It starts at home.
Right.
And then starts with their association, their friends, and what have you. Somehow you have to break that cycle. Education is part of it.
The only way you can do that is through education.
Well,
and that one guy was correct when he said, money, wealth, and power are a big influence on how you treat other people.
no doubt, and that needs to change too. But these are slow to respond.
They had a program on there a week ago about the Indians, and the Sioux Indians own the Black Hills by treaty. They have an old treaty where they never sold the Black Hills. And yet the American government knows that. And they know that they own that land because they've offered them huge amounts of money to sell it because of its religious, their ancestors and religion and their religion and everything. They won't sell it. So even though the government realizes that they own that property because of the treaty, they've let companies go in there and mine for copper and gold and silver and so on. And of course, the faces of the 4 presidents that are carved in the hills, all those things have been allowed when actually that land and those Black Hills belong to the Sioux Indians.
Well, history rightfully points out that we did not treat the native population very well.
No, they could be wealthy. They could take the money from the government and sell that, but they want to keep it. I mean, that's their ancestry.
It's their ancestral land.
Yeah, and they won't part with it.
Yeah, although
and
some tribes have figured out how to become very wealthy. Casinos, they've done very well with them.
Well, here in Michigan, but
and elsewhere,
What? I'm sorry, say that again.
And elsewhere, not only Michigan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had in this program they had on TV a week ago. They're doing all right. They were the fellows that were talking in new trucks and that. So they have jobs and they're working and everything. But still, it's a point that people should understand that the government is doing things it should not be doing.
Well, yeah, I think most people understand that in lots of different ways. Lots of different ways. I mean, it's not just that issue. There's a lot of issues out there that many people disagree with.
I want to point out too, the guy, I can't think of his name. That's Apple Computer. The guy with always wore the turtlenecks. I can't.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah. And anyhow, I don't know if people realize that he actually wasn't. His mother died, and his father didn't want to be bothered with him and his sister, so he gave them up for adoption.
So, you know what? In the end, who cared? What we cared about is what he did, what he created, what he invented.
But
why should we care about his background?
All races have their heroes.
Well, yeah, of course.
People need to learn about all the different heroes instead of looking down. You can look down on the Indians and say, well, they're just poor because they're not intelligent.
That's not true.
And people need to understand the history and why these things are happening.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks for listening.
All right, Gene, thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. 989-752-6111. Lines open for you. And I mean, I do think that education is an important tool in breaking the vicious cycle of racism and whatever else you want to call it, bias, injustice. But it's something it's going to take a long time. It's been a long time. And it's, we've made improvements, but nothing's perfect. We've got a long way to go as a nation. Long way to go. But I go back to what I said earlier. I'm an optimist. I believe this country can solve its problems whenever they come about, whatever they are. We've been in worse economic times. 1929, a big example. And there have been others since. We come out of it. We'll come out of this. There have been pandemics before. We'll come out of it. We'll come out of this. There have been political upheavals before. We'll come out of it. We'll come out of this. I'm a firm believer in that. Our founding fathers were geniuses. They created a structure that allows for the ups and downs. And hopefully you'll learn from the down times. You'll learn how to avoid them in the future. History is a great teacher. Talk about education. If you don't know history, then you don't know how to avoid the pitfalls of history. It's a great teacher. All right, we're going to take a pause. The lines are open for you. Give us a call. And you know, a 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility could also be costly if you aren't aware of the potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid IRS early distribution penalties and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today by calling 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or otherwise permitted. Topic should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest's premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community one student at a time. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and digital range training on .com and Facebook at ATS Midland. Applied Training Solutions, forward thinking, on target training.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, it didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan
Felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Think of everything you do to provide for your family. A home, food on the table, healthcare, vacations, and saving for your kids' education. It's all good as long as you're alive, but it's only a need if you die without life insurance. Buying term life insurance is not something you can afford to put off. Call the Term Lifeline now for the lowest possible rates on quality term life insurance. Term life rates are at all-time lows, and we can save you up to 70%. If you already have coverage, you could be paying too much. One call could save you thousands of dollars. We have great rates for smokers, too, or if you have health problems. Providing for today is good, but it's not enough if you die prematurely. Call the Term Lifeline today for a free quote. Protect your family and see if you could save up to 70%.
866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM. That's 866-549-8376.
You could win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Tigers play just for signing up for the WSGW newsletter. The WSGW newsletter is free. It will arrive in your inbox each weekday morning. You'll find links to the top local news stories covered by WSGW. Local news from Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, and the surrounding Great Lakes Bay region. Get signed up for the WSGW newsletter by September 7th for your chance to win the family 4-pack of Tigers tickets. Sign up online at WSGW.com.
Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios of WSGW.
And we are back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
I'll talk a little bit about behavioral health that you had in your previous hour. I noticed through the years, and I also worked in behavioral health for a while, that when the spiritual health of the country was up, particularly in the 60s, behavioral health was low and crime was low. And through the years, when the spiritual health of the country declined, behavioral health went up and criminal behavior went up.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge one thing you said.
All right.
You said when the spiritual health of the nation went up in the 60s. In my book, the 60s were the beginning of the downfall of morals.
I said the 50s. I said the 50s and the 60s.
I thought you said the 60s.
I said the 50s and the
50s, I would say absolutely. 60s, I don't think so. I think the 60s is the beginning of what I consider to be a moral crisis in this country.
Right. The mid to late 60s is where the
that's the most of the 60s.
Health started.
Yeah, that's the most of the 60s.
Started there.
That's the most of it.
That's when drugs hit the scene. Drugs hit the scene then.
Well, drugs were around before that. They were different, but they were around before that because there were drugs in my high school in the 50s. But the moral decline began with the flower power and the hippie movement and things of that nature. Right. And the lack of respect for authority really took off in the 60s and just has continued ever since. The other thing that happened was, for whatever reason, and this is a broad brush, it doesn't include everybody, but we forgot how to teach youngsters how to be parents. And generationally, we moved away from being good parents. Now, there are a lot of good parents in the world, don't get me wrong. But as a concept, we have moved away from it.
Right. Plus, there are other factors in behavioral health as well. You have shortage of workers, shortage of money.
Yeah.
Caseloads are increased per worker. Most consumers do not get the individual attention they need to improve their condition because of the shortage of workers and money. And you do that by testing. When you test the individual consumer to see where they're at in their life, that's when you know where you need to make improvements and changes.
As long as the consumer agrees to be tested.
Problem. Many consumers are delusional, and they don't, and in denial. They don't think there's anything wrong with them. You can ask a consumer, and he'll say, "There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine."
Yeah, there may be.
If you're fine, and if you're nothing wrong with you, why are you in a mental health group home? They don't understand that.
Well, if they're in that situation, there's been something that's happened to put. It's been something that happened to put them there.
Absolutely, something happened to put them there.
But we're talking about generalities. You talk to the majority of Americans who are not in group homes, and many will tell you, yeah, they have everyday issues like everybody else, but nothing serious.
Well, we've talked about this before. It used to be one in every 5 Americans had a mental health issue. Today, it is rapidly improved up to the 1 in 4. They won't admit it, but they.
How do you know that?
When you have more divorce.
How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know the number's gone worse?
All you got to look at today at the news and see all of the criminal behavior.
So you're guessing.
I'll give you a good example. All right, just this weekend, over in L.A., over 100 people robbed 7-Eleven in L.A.
Yes, right.
100.
All right.
In the old days.
So what
we
does that
had
mean
one
for
or
the
two
rest of us?
shoplifters.
What does that mean for the? Well, no, wait a minute now. What's changed in L.A.? How about the way they? How about the way they enforce the laws? The way they prosecute? The way they don't prosecute? How about the fact the government of L.A. has encouraged it?
It's all part of it.
Yeah, it's all
And
part
that
of it.
just encourages negative criminal behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
but does that mean that everybody else is that way? Have we all gone to robbery? I don't think so.
No, but when you see that kind of, and that's just in L.A. In Seattle, people are refusing to visit Seattle as a travel destination because of the high crime.
Yeah, so
in
you
the
pay for what
downtown
you
district
sow.
there.
You sow it, you pay for it. And that's what they're doing.
Right.
They're paying for it. That
Right.
doesn't reflect on the rest of the country. It reflects on Seattle. It reflects on Los Angeles. And it should be a
people
lesson to
elect
the
the
rest of the country
politicians.
what not to do.
The people elect the politicians, and if you have bad politicians, it's
Well-
a reflection on the voters of that area who elected them.
Bad by whose
So-
judgment? Because we
Pardon?
all think the politicians of the other party that we support are bad. So when you say bad
Well-
politicians, how are you judging them?
Well,
You're judging them by your standards, right?
Well, let me ask you this. all
Go
right?
ahead,
Of
answer the
those
question.
100 of those 100
You're not going to answer the
people who
question.
robbed that 7-Eleven, how many of them were Republican voters and how many were Democratic
Couldn't begin to
voters,
tell
in
you.
your opinion?
Couldn't begin to tell you.
I'll bet you
I'll bet you most of them were
Democratic voters.
apolitical. I'll bet you most of them don't vote.
Well, maybe don't vote, but I bet
So-
you a lot of them who do
Well,
are Democratic
you
voters.
you can bet that. Fine. I don't know. I didn't stop and ask them.
Well, the Republicans traditionally are for law and order, and the other side they're for parole and probation.
No, it's turned out that
So-
way today. That's true. Not going to deny that.
And,
All right.
Yeah.
Got to
All
run.
right. Okay.
Take
later.
care. Yep. Bye-bye now. And we'll be back with more.
Celebrate Labor Day September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Last time, Great Lakes style. Your $25 ticket gets you admission to the game and the Northern Lights Pavilion All-American Buffet. Your choice of a hot dog, brat, hamburger, or barbecued chicken. And all your favorite All-American sauce. Coleslaw, potato salad, baked beans, and cookies. Plus, unlimited soft drinks. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now at loons.com. Celebrate Labor Day September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th with the Great Lakes Loons. Dive in. It's Loons baseball time.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural. It's grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Daylight Outfitters. You are going to get 1 hour of axe throwing for a group of 4 or 1 hour of video archery for a group of 4 for only $40. It's usually $80, but you are getting it half off. Daylight Outfitters is located at 664 West Isabella Road in Midland. Axe throwing participants must be 10 and up. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Feel like summer is flying by? Are you looking for entertainment? To take a musical journey through the sounds of summer. The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission and WSGW invite you to join in the fun as Saginaw celebrates summer. Presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. There's still plenty to see and do throughout Saginaw and the riverfront area. For a complete list of events and activities, visit artsaginaw.org. And for daily updates on all the excitement, keep listening to WSGW.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
WSGW is your station for the Tigers.
Big pitch here for Gregory Soto. Swinging the ground ball to short. Fielded by Baez to Clemens. Over to Castro at first. Tigers win. Gregory Soto gets the game-ending double play.
Tigers Baseball, brought to you in part by Ed Raymond's in Chesaning, Stan's Gold Mine, Schaefer and Beer Line in Frankenmuth. All season long, Detroit Tigers Baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we are back. To the phones we go. Errol is in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
I didn't hear a bad rumor you were going to enter a marathon, did I?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. See, I want to change subjects.
Okay.
Only because it drives me nuts. I remember when the Middle East sent 2 tankers into Lake Superior to haul water. Well, Canada got reminded that water belongs to North America, not just up north. Well, they cut that out. But I want to know, and it's raised its head again, not from there. But the first thing that came up, well, we're going to pump water out of Mississippi so they have water.
Yeah.
My question is, how long has Guantanamo been making fresh water out of salt water? For 50, 60, 70 years?
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell are we not building desalinization plants all over North America, all over the United States, because we're hurting for water?
I don't know, particularly out west.
They can't hardly grow crops because their water's been cut down.
I cannot answer that. That's a good question, Errol. I have no idea.
But I got talking to someone last night up there in the boonies where he says, "I'll sell you snow." Nothing that's part of ours. But
listen, we should be able to build desalinization plants all over the place. Do you know that every cruise ship cruising the oceans supplies their own water with desalinization plants on board?
And now they're talking about, well, we'll pump water out of the Mississippi. Well, guess what?
Pump it out of the ocean.
Yeah, well, that's right. Been working great for Guantanamo for 100 years, and there's no reason why we aren't close enough to the oceans that they could not pump water and change it into needs or any of the out west places.
You and I
are
going to totally, completely, 100% agree.
Oh, I just fell over. I'm on the floor. Come and get me. How'd you like that? That pretty good?
Good. Very nice. Very nice. Very well done. Very well done. I think it's time has come. We've had the technology for years and years and years.
That's right. But have you ever heard anyone bring it up that works in Washington? Oh no.
Well, actually, years ago, I mean, decades ago, it was discussed, and I don't know whatever happened to it. But I remember hearing it in the news many, many, many years ago that they were talking about building desalinization plants. Nothing ever happened.
Yep, I agree. They can make them solar powered. I don't care what they do.
Sure, they could do that easily.
No damn reason why we aren't building 1 million plants. So I'll let you go for today, sir.
Well, that's such a good topic. Thank you, Errol.
Oh, okay, you're welcome. So once in a while, my wife doesn't think so, but that's okay. We've been at this for 63 years, and we look like each other. So I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye. But that is you think about that. That's an interesting question. Yep, we're in a drought in a lot of places in the country. Tremendous water shortages. Lake Powell, Lake Mead are way down. Colorado River is being overtapped. Yet we sit coast to coast between the two biggest bodies of water in the world, why can't we use them? What is there about desalinization that prohibits us from building desalinization plants and using that water for farming, for agriculture, for potability, drinking water? What is there that keeps us from doing it? I've never known the answer. I do not know the answer. I just think it'd be a great thing. And it would solve a problem. It would solve a problem. So I just, I don't know. Sometimes you scratch your head and go, well, we have this technology. Why aren't we using it? You know? Here's a story that I pulled offline about Facebook. Headline is Facebook remains extremely powerful, but it also faces legitimate problems. And it outlines the problems. It outlines the first problem as the age problem. If you have children, you've probably noticed they prefer other social media platforms because youngsters today view Facebook as a platform for older people. Innovation. The company just doesn't appear to know how to invest successful new stuff. Nothing is innovative about Facebook anymore. The metaverse problem. Zuckerberg feels so strongly that the metaverse, based around the world of virtual reality or VR, represents the future. He even renamed the company after it. But, you know, what are you going to do? Now, of course, they have sold more than 10 million VR headsets. The niche is growing, no doubt about that. And finally, there is the antitrust problem. Some Meta supporters argue the company's recent struggles prove it isn't the omnipotent force that critics claim. But the company's become less dominant, partly because both the Trump and Biden administrations have taken tougher stances against mergers. I mean, you know, if Zuckerberg could acquire his way out of the problem, he would have done it by buying Instagram and others way back when. Interesting to see what the future holds for Facebook and some of the other social media giants out there, which I, of course, blame for a lot of the problems today. But again, it's private business. If you believe in capitalism, you got to believe in private business. And sometimes you may not like the private business, but it's part of capitalism. Back to close out after these notes.
Wednesdays are for winning at Saginaw Eagles. Now through September 28th, you can cash in on Hump Day. That's right. On Wednesdays from 9:30 a.m. till 9:30 p.m., we're giving away $1,000 cash every hour. So get some midweek action and cash in on Hump Day. Now through September 28th, only at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saginaw-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just saving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now.
And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Now, a WSGW Morning Team Show memorable moment.
To the Chief, the recognized presidential song, if you will, the introductory when the president comes into the room. Did you know the words? The official words to Hail to the Chief, just so you know. Hail to the Chief, we have chosen for the nation. Hail to the Chief, we salute him one and all. Hail to the Chief as we pledge cooperation. Sorry. In proud fulfillment of a great and noble call. Yours is the aim to make this grand country grander. This you will do. That's our strong, firm belief. Hail to the one. Hail to the president. Hail to the chief. Let's go back to that cooperation. Cooperation is always pledged, is it not? I mean, generally you always hear, got to work together, got to be together.
As long as you do it my way.
Now, whatever happens after the pledge happens, that's another story.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back tomorrow to do it again. Focus coming up. We're going to focus on Cops and Doughnuts and a new book they've written. Bubba and Rhino will be with us this morning, and that will happen right after the news, which is next from CBS and the local report. And then we'll be back to chat with you on Focus.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. Russia's counterintelligence agency blames Ukraine for the car bomb attack that killed the daughter of a Putin ally, and Vladimir Putin is called the killing cruel and treacherous. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is in Ukraine.
Kyiv quickly denied responsibility. The president's office saying, unlike Russia, we are not a Zelensky has warned that Russia might be planning something particularly nasty to spoil Independence Day celebrations in revenge.
In northeastern New Mexico, an area scarred by wildfires has now been submerged in floodwater.
I've lived here for 50 years. This is like a 500-year flood, not a 100-year flood.
Torrential rain forced flooding and some emergency rescues in North Texas. A hiker is missing in Utah after a campground flooded. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
We have an exceptional drought. So this will help to alleviate it, but the ground is incredibly parched. It is incredibly dry there, and so it can't absorb that it normally would be able to.
Well, CBS's Robert Costa reports this could be the week former President Trump acts on a threat to release security footage from the night the FBI searched his Florida home.
The former president and his lawyers are looking through surveillance footage from Mar-a-Lago, wondering how to use it, if to release it to the public or use it as some part of political campaign as he expresses his grievances over the FBI search. No decisions have been made at this moment, but there is real concern on the FBI and DOJ side about this, since threats against agents since the search have spiked.
On the inflation front, CBS's Jim Crisula reports on a welcome change of pace at the grocery store.
Beef with beef prices. Prices of beef, typically among the costliest grocery store purchases, are falling after more than a year of increases. That prompted many Americans to buy less beef and switch to less expensive protein like chicken and pork. Beef supplies are improving with better staffing at meat plants.
A recount in 9 of the 105 counties in Kansas confirmed the state vote in favor of abortion rights. Activists who demanded the recount offered no proof of any irregularities. Well, a long car ride with young children can be challenging. CBS's Vicky Barker has some new numbers from British researchers.
A survey of 2,000 parents of under 12s that the average child asks, "Are we there yet?" just 32 minutes into a car journey, and has a backseat meltdown at 1 hour and 10 minutes sooner if there's a sibling present.
Well, checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 490 points. The S&P is down 75. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner renting or leasing, you can save a ton of money and own a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 877-25-STEEL and get a quote today.
As golfers, we want more distance, more accuracy, more birdies, pars, and one putts. What if I told you that you can get all of that during your next golf getaway? Now with 90 holes of golf at one resort, Shanty Creek Resort is bigger and better. Discover a new golf mecca in Bel Air with all the more you need. Variety, quality, and quantity with customizable stay and play packages accommodating every group and budget. When you're ready for more, we'll be here to welcome you at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
Think of everything you do to provide for your family. A home, food on the table, healthcare, vacations, and saving for your kids' education. It's all good as long as you're alive, but it's only a drop in the bucket of what they'll need if you die without life insurance. Buying term life insurance is not something you can afford to put off. Now for the lowest possible rates on quality term life insurance. Term life rates are at all-time lows, and we can save you up to 70%. If you already have coverage, you could be paying too much. One call could save you thousands of dollars. We have great rates for smokers, too, or if you have health problems. Providing for today is good, but it's not enough if you die prematurely. Call the Term Lifeline today for a free quote. Protect your family and see if you could save up to 70%.
866-549-TERM. 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 That's 866-549-8376.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Live from the 190 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Fairly cloudy skies and 68 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Birchup. A Bridgeport Township man who ran for trustee this month is calling for a recount after losing by only 23 votes. Roger Rosales lost to Democrat Brandel Adams in the Democratic primary by a vote count of 521 to 498. Rosales says he was confused by the polling results on his local TV station when numbers didn't change between 58% of the votes counted to 100%. He must pay $200 for the recount, which will be held tomorrow at the Saginaw County. The Michigan Sugar Company is hiring and holding a job fair today from 8 to 3:30 at the Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works Bay City Service Center at 4061 North Euclid Avenue. On-the-spot interviews and hiring will take place during the job fair for positions including general sugar packer, general laborer, and packaging and warehouse mechanic. Please remember to bring a resume. For more information, visit michigansugar.com/careers. Michigan religious institutions and other nonprofits could receive additional funding to increase security. Senator Gary Peters, chairman of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, $1 billion will be awarded to Michigan nonprofits and faith-based organizations for the current fiscal year. The funds come from the Department of Homeland Security's Nonprofit Security Grant Program, which allocates a total of $250 million nationally for nonprofit organizations to increase security amidst a rising number of attacks on faith-based organizations. The allocation to Michigan represents a $5 million increase from last year. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of The Money. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advice, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable. Find your local crop advisor at simplotgrowersolutions.com.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Some relatively good news for Michigan's drivers. The state continues to move down the list of highest auto insurance rates in the country. Michigan is now sitting at number 4 on the list, down from number 2 last year. Insure.com is the author of the report, and they credit the reforms enacted in 2019. Prices are expected to continue dropping as dozens of new companies are planning to enter the Michigan market, increasing competition and further lowering the cost of auto insurance. Closing arguments are scheduled for today in federal court in Grand Rapids in the case of a plot to kidnap the governor. Here is Michigan News Network's Rob Mason.
Their case in the trial of 2 men charged with conspiring to kidnap Michigan's governor on Friday. Lawyers for Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. called investigators to the witness stand to try to raise questions about their tactics back in 2020. Fox second time after a jury in April could not reach a unanimous verdict.
7 communities had some good news Saturday morning. The Great Lakes Water Authority lifted the boil water advisory for Almont, Bruce Township, Birchville Township, Imlay City, Rochester, Shelby Township, and Washington Township. The authority has been completing water quality tests since the water main break. Washington Township Supervisor Sam Pravetti says the water samplings and flushings have come back positive or safe.
We're still keeping water irrigation mandate in effect to keep the water pressure stable.
The Great Lakes Water Authority is still asking all 23 communities, which were initially impacted by the water break, to limit their outdoor water usage during the repair. Officials say the repair should be tentatively finished on September 3rd. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late today. Otherwise, a blend of clouds and sunshine develops with a high around 80. Winds out of the north around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, low near 61. By Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, high of 83 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 87. Thursday, we'll have a chance for some showers here late. Partial sunshine develops, high of 82. Then on Friday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 69.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus on WSGW, brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. And today we're going to talk about a business that's been around a while in our region, very successful indeed. An interesting concept, not only because of the name of the business, but those who created it. It's called Cops and Doughnuts. And with us in the studio this morning is Bubba and Rhino. That's how they like to be known as. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Are you there?
We can hear you, Art.
Oh, good. I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you there for a minute.
All right.
Great. I have to ask, before we get started, how many officers were originally involved in the creation of Cops and Doughnuts?
There were 9 of us.
9 of you.
Yes.
How many are still in the profession?
It's still in the profession. 3 of us have retired.
3 have retired, so 6 are still.
Five
on
are
patrol, huh?
5 are still on patrol. 1's undercover. That's all we'll say about it.
Oh, that's fine. But still working, still working.
We don't know for sure. We don't know where he's
That's
at.
right. He's undercover. And now there's a new book, Cops and Doughnuts.
There is. Bubba, what's the book?
Well, aptly named, it's Cops and Doughnuts is the title.
How creative.
Yeah, and then and the subtitle is An Amazing Story of a Police Department, a Bakery, and the Comeback of a Small Town.
Well, it is an amazing story. And, growing up, and my father was a federal agent, so I've been around law enforcement all my life, but the jokes about Cops and Doughnuts have been there forever.
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
ever. And sometimes
play
they're
off
not
that-
jokes because most of the time the guys are in there eating donuts.
Yeah, and we play off that stereotype. That's part of our marketing strategy.
And, what prompted the 9 of you to sit down and say, we ought to start a bakery?
This old bakery had been in Clare since 1896, and it was a foundation business in our community. And in 2009, the owner didn't want to do it anymore. Nobody would buy it. And he just announced he was going to close it. And our marketing strategy is the cops panic because the town's only donut shop was going to close. But in truth, we thought it would be, we thought it would be fun to own a bakery. We take a little kidding, have a little fun playing off the stereotype. And we did not expect it to take off like it did.
Right. And also, our downtown was closing up. It was a tough time, 09, we were 08 and 09, and we were worried because those tax dollars are what pays our wages. So we were concerned about that too. So we thought we would do our part and save the bakery.
So you saved the bakery. 9 of you saved the bakery.
Yes.
Knowing nothing about, other than enjoying the product, knowing nothing about bakeries, I assume. Is that right?
We were only familiar with the retail end of the donut.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I mean. How did, when you started it, you bought the bakery, were you able to retain the employees of the bakery that knew how to make the product?
Yeah, the only employee they had that worked 24 hours a week. That was the owners and one part-time employee, 24 hours a week.
No kidding.
She immediately went to 70 hours a week, and that's not an exaggeration.
And willingly?
Sure. Yeah, Roxanne was great. She did a good job for us. She jumped right in and what needed to be done, and we were training people right alongside of her. So it changed in that morning when we opened, and we've been on a run ever since.
And now you have how many employees?
We float right around 50. We'd like to have 65.
50.
We'd like to have 65 at least, but
and how many locations?
4. Headquarters in Clare, and then we've got our precincts in Gaylord, Bay City, Mount Pleasant, and then we've got 9 really good substations that are out there.
And if I remember right, I think the last time you were here, you said that everything comes out of Clare. Is that right? It's all baked in Clare?
Yep, that's one thing we learned. We've got to make everything in Clare. They want everything to be the same. And we truck it out every day. We put a lot of miles on 2 vans, 7 days a week.
So let's talk about the book. What's the thesis of the book, if you will? What are we going to learn?
It's a book. It's really a marketing book that tells our story in our unorthodox way of how we market ourselves and our product. And it's also kind of a comeback story. A lot of people didn't know this. We went through some very, very, very difficult times. It says we were basically bankrupt. We just didn't want to not support our creditors. And it was actually our accountant who suggested writing a book. He says, what you guys pulled off was a miracle. You need to write this down, and people can learn from this, and people are going to enjoy the goofy things and the good, the bad, and the ugly, as I always say.
And it's all there. Huh?
It's all in there.
Yep. I can tell who the marketer is because he's mentioned the word marketing now probably half a dozen times since we started. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Our main strategy for promoting the business is we come up with ideas using a bonfire and a cigarette.
So within the 9, how many are active in the business in terms of operating, running, participating?
The 2 of us are the main members that run it.
You're both retired, is that right?
We are.
You're both retired.
Yep. And there's 3 of us managing members, and the third one just retired, and but he still has another business. And yeah, you'll find Bubba and Rhino there all the time.
And are the 9 in effect the board of directors, so to speak?
Yeah, we're an LLC, so we've got passive members and managing members.
And what's the experience been like for you? I mean, if I said to you 20 years ago, what are you going to be doing 20 years from now? Would you ever thought you'd be running a bakery?
Negative. No, you could have asked us 6 weeks before we started, and I would have said we'd never be running a bakery. But,
yeah, one of our sayings is always, if I would have told you that so many years ago we would be complaining about being short on Long Johns, I never would have believed it.
All right, the book is Cops and Doughnuts. We'll come back and talk to Bubba and Rhino about it after these notes. It's Focus here on WSGW.
Feel like summer is flying by? Are you looking for entertaining a musical journey through the sounds of summer? The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission and WSGW invite you to join in the fun as Saginaw celebrates summer. Presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. There's still plenty to see and do throughout Saginaw and the riverfront area. For a complete list of events and activities, visit artsaginaw.org. And for daily updates on all the excitement, keep listening to WSGW.
This is it. Your last chance to win $5,000 a week forever from Publishers Clearinghouse. There are just days left to enter. Win $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. But you must enter at PCH.com. The legacy for your loved ones. Hurry, time is running out. So enter now at PCH.com. $5,000 a week forever. Don't miss your last chance to win it this August 31st. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/29. No purchase necessary. Order prohibited.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we're back with you on Focus. I'm in my Saginaw Spirit home studio, and in our Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery studios, Bubba and Rhino, the two guys that run Cops and Doughnuts, and a new book called Cops and Doughnuts. How, you mentioned Claire was in trouble in terms of 2008, 2009, and the downtown wasn't doing very well. How did Cops and Doughnuts impact Claire, and how long did it take to see that impact?
It took about 24 hours.
About 24 hours.
Yeah, it was right. Well, we hit the Associated Press 24 hours in, and that we opened on a Wednesday, and that first weekend on Sunday, we hit worldwide, and we were in every print newspaper that had Associated Press connection. We've got emails from Italy, all over the world. It just took right off. We had a website up right off the bat, and we could track where they were online. And Bubba and I, on that first Sunday, we kept refreshing it and watched the United States wake up and the hits to our website go across. And it was a wave. You could look at every Google News, everybody. That first Sunday, it was a massive. It was crazy.
And we were totally unprepared for it.
Right.
Yeah, and how long before you realized it really was going to be a success? It's one thing to get past the initial flurry because of the uniqueness of the name and who created it and all of that. How long before, as a business, you realized you landed on something?
for myself, right off the bat, we had a group around and different ones. They called us the 6 months. Give it 6 months and it'll be all over. You can run into guys all over the place and gals that'll say, yeah, it was a 6-month deal. But once we got through that first winter, if I get cold sores, I'm nervous. Well, that first winter, I had a lot of cold sores. And once we got through that first winter and we got into that, a 1-year cycle, up and down and things like that, we knew we had the needle in the vein.
And how did it impact downtown Clare?
500,000 people pre-COVID per year.
Is that how many come? Wow.
It's 1,000. So right now, post-COVID, last year and this year, we're going to be 320. Maybe last year, I think we're shooting maybe 350,000 people this year through the downtown Clare location.
And, and for anybody who has not been there, it's more than just a bakery. Yeah, you got all those wonderful baked goods, but it's almost as much fun to go into the marketing side where you have all the goodies and all the displays and the fake jail and all that stuff.
A lot of memorabilia,
yeah. A lot of memorabilia. It really is fun. It's like going to a museum. And by the way, I'll have a Long John while I'm there.
Yeah. Dogman says that we're an event, we're an experience or an event when you come.
Also,
donuts.
Dave Maurer from the station mentioned to me that behind the store in an alley, there's artwork.
Yeah, our Clare County Arts Council went with an art alley, and that was spun off from Kim Kleinhardt. She actually opened an art gallery next door to us, and she planned on doing that in retirement. And she actually started early because of us and had an art gallery management class in high school, and everything built off that. And now the arts are kind of taken over. So we've got one block that's a very attractive art alley. We have the sculpture walk downtown, 10 different sculptures that are on display from artists all over the country. And, we've got boutiques that are coming in. We've got a lot of young women entrepreneurs now that are taking over, and we love it.
All right. We're going to take you guys one at a time up to the bakery counter. What are you buying? What's your favorite?
For me, the Deputy, and what that is a peanut butter cream filled Long John with chocolate frosting and peanuts, and it is my go-to.
And
yeah, we've got a lot of good fun names, but I'm just going to stick with before we had the bakery. When I would go, I like a raspberry Bismarck.
Yeah. Now you can have all you want.
Right, but I'm type 2 diabetic, so I don't have it as often as I used to.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
There's many of us.
Yes, we all, those of us suffering from that, prepare before we go to Cops and Doughnuts.
Yeah.
But
ironically enough, once you're completely exposed to it continuously, it kind of loses its luster. So I really don't eat many donuts anymore.
I rarely notice our salt rising bread. I'll notice the stinky gym socks. When they're doing some of the things like on Sundays and Wednesdays, 2 days a week, we bake off all of our bacon for our bacon squealers and our bacon items. So I'll notice that. But I've got to go on vacation for a couple of weeks and come back. And then when you walk in, it's kind of grandma's kitchen smell that everybody notices.
All right. So back to the book. Where is it available? I'm assuming all your stores.
Well, not yet.
Oh,
launch. See, we're ahead of the game. Our news release hasn't gone out, and but we teamed up with Amazon. Well, Amazon has their own timeline, so it's already available on Amazon. It's being purchased up. So I noticed yesterday that it's available at Barnes and going to be available worldwide.
And you'll have it at the stores?
Yes. By the end of the week is what the tentative delivery schedule is.
So tell everybody where your locations are. We'll end with that.
Sure. Our headquarters in downtown Clare. That's where the majority of our customers come through. And then Jay's Sporting Goods is our busiest precinct. That's up in Gaylord. We're actually inside of the Jay's Sporting Goods building. And then we're over in Bay City in the old Sutherland Bakery. We call it the Sutherland Precinct. And then we did a new build out down in Mount Pleasant called the Central Precinct. But we've got some big, and Alpena, the Galley Sweet Shop up in Alpena is the most recent, and it's large. There's times that it does more in a week than some of our precincts. The Ace Hardwares in Midland and Alma. Wheelers and Standish, they're another big one.
Yeah.
So,
well, you definitely are a destination. I can't tell you how many times we've just from Saginaw driven to Clare for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah, Saginaw is our locals.
We hear that a lot, and we're really proud of that people are willing to travel to see us. And like one of our owners says, Dogman, we're an event. We're the Disney of Clare.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Listen, Bubba Rhino, thank you much for being with us.
Thank you, Art.
Good luck with the book. Good luck with the business.
Appreciate it, Art.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll be back to close out and find out what's happening in the marketplace after these notes.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community one student at a time. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and